Two men who know the culture and the consequences. Host of Naughty But Nice, iHeart, you can watch it every day, Mr. Rob Shuter, who also worked for the British royal family, and Mr. Andrew Eborn, who is a British broadcaster and international attorney. Wow, look at how well you are dressed as well. You know what? I'm not surprised. All right, so Rob, first, the idea, we spoke this morning, thank you very much for coming on the SXM radio show with me. Do you still feel the same way, that this was a total shock and that British society did not think the former prince would go down this way?
Total shock. I've spoken to my friends in Britain, people I work with in Britain all day. They did not see this coming. The thought of having one of Queen Elizabeth's sons, her favourite son, arrested is just something that I don't think anybody in Britain could get their head around. Even seeing these pictures of him being released is something that has really stunned many, many people in Britain. We know that the king did not know in advance. I'm also told too by my insiders that Andrew did not see this coming. He has a big sense of self, he has a huge ego, and he just never saw this day.
Andrew, do you believe these charges have teeth, or is it not being about the women an indication that it won't really last?
Well, I think a couple of points. Firstly, I wasn't completely surprised at all, because if you look at the narrative and where we've got to, I always say that trust comes in on foot and leaves on horseback, and trust in the media, trust in the royals, trust in the police has been at an all-time low. So the pressure has been mounting on everybody to do something. What's really interesting is that the king himself emphasize the fact that nobody is above the law, and it needs to go through the process. And that's the key. We have extremely strict rules here in the UK and potential contempt of court about reporting. And what happens if you publish material that could create a substantial risk that the course of justice might be seriously impeded, then basically you are guilty of an offence. And we have to be very, very careful about what is said. We have to be very, very careful about analysing any evidence or commenting or speculating. But we have to basically stick to the facts. So when the police report came out, they turned around and said at the very beginning, at about 8 a.m. this morning, that an unnamed, and they weren't going to name the person, a person had been arrested. It was actually, interestingly, the king himself who disclosed the name, and our prime minister, that basically it was the former Prince Andrew. But it needs to go through that sort of process, and I think that's the key thing. The other thing that's happened in the media is people are talking about lots of the sex victims and so on and so forth, which are indeed appalling, and they are rightly calling for justice at the appropriate moment. But this arrest was nothing to do with that. It was all to do with those allegations, as you say, about following the money. So that's what we need to look at, get the facts right. But I always say that sunlight is the best disinfectant. And I've been urging people in the media, as indeed have others, indeed Hillary Clinton herself urged it a few hours ago, that people have knowledge, they should go ahead and testify. And Prince Andrew, the former Prince Andrew, certainly knew Epstein. We've seen evidence of that. The question is, what did he know? And also I make this point, that it's not just Andrew. It doesn't happen that royals act alone. There will be lots of people who would have known of his movements. There are lots of people who would know, because they have to help with those arrangements, what was going on. So we need to look at that. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, but it needs to go through the proper process to avoid the difficulties, and also be very, very cautious about contempt of court.
Rob, let me put one foot in two different countries. Do you believe there's an expectation in the UK that there's more to come on Andrew? And do you believe that this may redound and echo here in the US in terms of calls for accountability?
Yeah, a couple of things. This Andrew thing has been a drip, drip, drip. This has not started recently. We've been talking about this for a really long time, which is why I think people are in absolute shock today that this has been going on for months and months and months. And so finally to see today, to a lot of people, to a lot of victims, to a lot of people involved in this process, is an extraordinary day. I do think it will have an impact here too. This has been deafening. This is not just a British story, it's around the world. We're talking about it here in America. In fact, that's all anybody is talking about it. You're leading your show with it. So I think it's going to have a massive effect here. In America, I'm not quite sure it's going to shake the power structure as it has in Britain, but it took a long time to get there in Britain. I think it's going to take many more months for it to happen here in America.
Gentlemen, to be continued. I appreciate you both. Thank you very much for coming in and affording us the perspective. Andrew, nice to meet you. Rob, as always, thank you very much.